All right, and let's get into the charts. Give me 1 second. Recording delayed. Yep. Share screen. Let's go over here to my main screen. All right. How's everybody doing? Happy Friday freaking Eve, man. Market's down again. What's up, CJC? What the hell's going on, man? Right? Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, we're I don't know, man. This is some BS right here, isn't it? Oil keeps going up, prices keep going up. This cannot last. This doesn't make any sense. All right. All right. You can share my main screen. Remember, my main screen, I got this new monitor. It's so cool. And but I can't change the resolution. What was happening in the past is I would change the resolution to one of my bigger charts and it would look better on your end. But I can't change the resolution on this because it wouldn't make any sense. Then I wouldn't be able to use my big screen. So I apologize. So the best I can do is I could pop open these bigger charts for you so you can see. Okay, and they might be a little fuzzy. Just let me know. If there's something you can't see. The first thing I want to talk about actually this morning is going to be Bitcoin. So we're going to come over here to Bitcoin. They're up almost 72,000. 72,000, man. Right? What's going on? What's up, Felicia? 72 freaking thousand, man. So when some things are bad, like this is funny. This is reminding me, maybe these are the vibes I felt in the beginning of the year. I remember there was a moment where I call it my grandson or my grandchildren's account. It's only Eli right now. His account's like on fire because 60% of my net liquidity in there is actually in crypto. So his account's doing amazing, and this account is sort of, I guess, from a swing position, is in a drawdown at the moment. So, I'm happy, but I want to know like what the hell's going on. Well, that zone that we've been covering for quite some time, Price has finally decided that it wanted to break out of the demand zone. And I think today is a good example. And I don't know if it's going to stay out of the demand zone. I really don't. But I think today is a great day to talk about this, how long prices can stay in demand before they move to the upside. And this is called patience in here. And this is a lot easier in that account because I'm in it for the long haul, you know. Now, my last ads were 57 or 59 or something like that. So almost down here towards the bottom. And we're moving up towards the 200 SMA. That's the simple moving average. That's what these blue dots are. And a lot of traders use this indicator. It's free, and we view it on a daily chart. Okay, so if nobody has it on their chart and would like to put it on their chart, you just simply go over to Thinkorswim and you look it up. It's called the simple moving average, and then you change the length. It's 200, and this is it. And basically, what people are looking for is a move up at least to this area. Now, in the broad market analysis, it feels like I've been talking about the same levels, and I have been since February, right here. So we came into here, we went sideways, we moved up into the trendy edge, which when we're underneath it, it is resistance until proven otherwise. We come back in here, and what do you get in demand zones? You get a lot of bad news, right? A lot of bad things are happening, such as, I mean, I don't know that dude's name. I really don't care about the news, but there's that one dude that's like involved with crypto, and they're like, he's selling all this stuff. And he's like, no, I'm not. I'm not selling all. It's just all like a big distraction. The point of this is that the demand zone is working. That's right, Michael, the sailor, right? It's working and it's starting to push to the upside. And then I think the POTUS says something about, hey, we're going to buy more crypto. I don't know, but that's the catalyst that is pushing price out of demand. and now possibly moving towards the bear channel. Now, why is this area important? Because like yesterday, I alerted coin and stuff like that. And if you're long anything into, I guess that has something to do with crypto, what I would tell you is keep your eyes on Bitcoin futures chart. Okay. So the what I'm looking for is a possible move that can get us up towards 76,000. Okay. So towards 76,000. And we're currently at 72. So that's really not that far away. Now, I could be wrong. We may not get all the way up to 76. We could hit my line here around 74 and really pull off. And the reason why I say that is because if we zoom in here, right here, there is an inside and down formation right there. Okay. And yeah, these candles right here are pretty strong. And usually, when strong candles are meeting or coming up to other strong candles, they are going to find some rejection or resistance. Okay. So, if I were to put my line underneath the inside and down, guess where we hit? Okay. So why is this important? Because if you held on to coin and you didn't sell when I sold, or maybe you're trading something else in the crypto land, this is an area where I would most likely trim a position if I was trading from a shorter time frame, because the bigger time frame is saying, hey, we could stall here a little bit. All right. Now, again, my other account is sort of in a drawdown here while this guy pushes to the upside. So a lot of times, Apple's doing this. So if crypto or Bitcoin starts to move up towards my resistance and the market is actually still moving down in the background, then I start to think as we get closer to here, what's going to happen is the market over here is going to get a relief bounce, right? And this is going to start to reject. All right. Everybody understand? So that's kind of like how I'm looking at Bitcoin at the moment. All right. Now, our favorite chart for Bitcoin is actually on the monthly. All right. And the reason why I liked it on the monthly, and let's come over here, is because if you watch the broad market analysis, you already know this answer. I've been talking about it for several weeks. And that's because we went inside and up. We are anticipating an inside and up formation. Now look at this. Okay. I want you to look at all the levels I just gave you, and now let's look at the confluence. This is important because some of you might be a part of other groups, right? Like other groups that are pushing crypto names, okay? And I want you to be able to use some of the technical analysis that we also teach so that maybe it will help you from making a grave mistake or possibly staying in a position. So notice that the bear channel is also aligned with a monthly inside and down. I love this chart today because it actually teaches a lot about what we do. Okay. This is the supply zone, guys. Now, watch when I do this again. You ready? So, this is a monthly. This is the inside candle. We would take that wick there, come down to that wick right there, and guess where current prices hit? It's hit the inside and down formation. All right. Now, we anticipated an inside and up as long as price stayed above this white dotted line in this area. I was like, hey, this is support, guys. But it's right here. All right. Now, what do we have here? What do we have here, folks? We have two opposing zones. So it's exciting. Thank you, bit for yeah, a strangle, right? A range. Um, it's exciting because like if you're sitting in this green zone for months, you're like, finally, man, we're breaking out. What's not exciting is we're breaking out right into an inside and down formation. So you really need a strong catalyst to push up through supply or to continue to chew through supply. And in order to do that, this is the entry or the door to the bear house. Okay. And I've taught this many times over the years. And I think this is a good time to teach it because if you're coming into a supply zone and you open up that door, that means, hey, the bears are like, hey, John, come on in, man. I appreciate you. Like you're trying, right? You're trying to knock this house down. We'll let you in. but you always have to mind your manners when you're in here because these buttholes will kick you out in a hurry. And when they kick you out, you feel it because this is a really strong zone. Okay. This line right here is the door to the supply. If you make it into the door, you mind your manners, understanding what your risk is and understanding they can kick you out into the front yard again if they want to. Okay. This line is the line that we say, hey, is it's like a over under. Okay. The 72,465. If we're over that, you can stay long, but be aware of things that are here. Like, for example, the body sometimes is the area where we could see even more resistance. And if I were to draw a line underneath the body, it is confluent with the next EMA. We have confluence in that area, inside and down formation, huge freaking volume candle to the downside. And guess what, guys? If you have somebody that's trying to push you into a crypto name right into this area, you better remember that the better area was down here at 50s and trimming up in the 70s. Okay. Everybody understand that? This is the edge that we have in the market, and timing is the variable. Okay. Timing is the variable. It took a long time, but if you're patient and you understand that a bigger zone means longer time, you're okay. This means you still had a good summer, you still went out on the boat with me, we still had tequila at the bar, we still, like, had great dinners, we still lived our lives while crypto was just figuring out what it wanted to do. Alright? Good times, man. All right, moving on. Let's talk about something besides Bitcoin. Let's talk about oil. Okay. All right. So this is what oil looks like. And it is pretty scary when you think about it. Mel and I were talking about it yesterday on the mic. She was like, I know you want prices lower, but man, oil's kind of on fire. I mean, it is. Look at it, right? It's pretty nuts. So from the swing high to the swing low in just this region here, we are at the bear channel. So this is an area I would expect a rejection in this area. But notice that this is also, when we zoom in, an inside and up formation. This is the over under 38.2. This is the over under. So if prices can break up and over here, we could get an opportunity for prices to move up towards the golden profit level, which puts us up around $93. Okay. Now $93, that's a long ways away. That's a lot of money if we were to hit that area. This is a region that I would like to get short or add into my swing position for MCL. Okay. So again, that is CL or oil futures. Now, if we take this right here and we come over to the $130 high and we come down to the pivot low, you can see that this changes a little bit. The 50's up in this region. Okay. This is where we had that big rally and we pushed up towards the 88.7 and pulled back. And now we've already come back, okay, and hit the 50. That worked. And now we're just kind of sitting in this area right here. Okay. All right, cool. So we got all that right there. All right. So your over under in this is going to be, I would actually take this high and this low. And as long as we stay above 83.86, this continues to be a bullish setup here where we could be looking for oil to spike up into the 50. Okay. All right. Let's get to the good stuff that we talk about every single morning, and that's the ES futures. We're down 38 points, which is around, $3.50, $3.70, somewhere in there on the SPY. All right. And then we bought some puts on SPY and we trimmed some of that at 40% yesterday. And somebody had asked me, "Hey, John, why did you buy puts?" And I said, because it pushed into an area where I'd want to go short. That's the answer, and we went over it during our morning huddle, if you will. I say huddle, I make it sound so corporate, right? When we were, uh, when I was a director, we used to have morning huddles. Anyways, so we have this double inside and up formation right here. This is the bigger picture. This is why I actually would continue to stay long in the long term and buy puts for um, short term when we hit areas of resistance, because right now the market's just in this drawdown kind of phase, right? But if you look at this, I can buy calls in the SPY or SPX for further out. This right here is going to be speculation. I keep saying that perhaps we're sideways and choppy into NVIDIA earnings. And I do believe that NVIDIA actually holds a card in the idea that we can get up towards my 78.65, and the idea that the NASDAQ can also move. Okay. Now, it's speculation. I don't mind speculation. I love trading speculation. Speculation made us 1,000% in QQQ puts. Okay. It also made us 50% yesterday in SPY puts. It works. I'm still using levels, but I'm also bringing in some of my ideas that, hey, maybe this name gets us going, right? Because we really have just been consolidating here. All right. All right, guys. So here's the NASDAQ, and this is what it looks like. All right. So if I take a look at the NASDAQ and I look at the levels I gave you, all right, first of all, let's talk about this level that I gave you earlier in the year. Absolutely crushed it from here. Price pushes up. It hits this week's resistance. We created an inside and down. So this is what this looks like. Okay, right there. And then this candle is going somewhere. Where are you going, Mr. Candle? He could be going to the bottom right here. Notice I have a green trigger there. He could be going to the imbalance of this really big volume candle here. Okay. Now, if this, then that. If price gets to here, we'll look to go long. Today, intraday, if price gets to one of our intraday levels or gets above the PMZ, we can look to go long. But what I do know is that we created an inside and down way up here. And on a big spike, we could see prices move back up to 30,000. That's about 700 points away. And honestly, NVIDIA has a good earnings, and we just kind of chill down here and go sideways into their earnings. There's a possibility that we can make our way back up towards here. And, the market's happy for a few minutes. Okay. Cool. All right. So that is what's going on this smaller time frame. Now let's go back to the ES futures on a smaller time frame. And we had some really good confirmations down there, guys, to go long this morning, if you already did so. All right, let's talk about the ES futures on the daily. We had the same thing, inside and down formation. Yesterday, we hit my trigger long. We had a huge bounce from that trigger long, guys. Check this out, 77.01 all the way to 77.64. You do the math. That's 60 points to the upside. That's probably about $3,000 if you were to trade that line and trade it up into this resistance up in here. Most people cannot do that. They have a hard time, so they use SPY options or XSP or sometimes SPX. Okay, but what are we looking for here? Again, is this a relief bounce today? If this is a relief bounce, we could be headed down to my next trigger long, which is at or around that same looking candle of the breakout, if you will. Now, there's some confluence in this area too. Notice that if we draw a line across here around that imbalance, this was the previous highs. A lot of times what was resistance turns into possible support. Okay? You see, a lot of confluence here. All right. Imbalance. Most likely, if we broke this down into a smaller time frame, you're going to see something happen here. Okay. All right. Let's move on. And matter of fact, let's look around that level, around 76.40. All right, here we go. This was yesterday's blueprint right here. Okay. And this is down at 76.50 by 76.29. Well, that's 76.40. Let me make sure. Was that 76.40? Yeah, 76.40 is right in this region right here. So far as today is concerned, let's talk about the relief rally. Now, relief rallies, depending on your range or your expectations of a trade, depend on where you want to anchor your Fibonacci's. So, for example, if I'm not interested in today's trade, I'm interested in next week's trade, I'm most likely looking at a higher range to anchor Fibonacci's. If I'm interested in today making money quickly, I'm most likely going to use a shorter range, right? So, for example, I could use this range here to anchor this idea of trendy Fibonacci. All right. And I'll show you the difference. So if I come up here to the high and I go down here to the low, we could see that a relief bounce of 78.38 all the way to the lows puts us up into 77.17 and 77.40. Okay. That's a lot bigger range. And quite honestly, if I'm trying to swing trade, guys, I'm not looking to just take 5 points. I'm trying to see if we can get even more points to the upside. So this range makes sense to me. Okay. Now, if I take this off and I just want to go from this range to this range, look how things change dramatically. See, everything's fractal that we teach. So this is still a bear channel, and this area over here is still a bear channel. They just are different on different anchor points. What is your expectation? Okay, so we're going to take this off and then we're going to look at this one because listen, it's Thursday. It's almost the end of the week. We have an inside and down formation at or around the golden prophet. Okay, let's take this bearish GP. I'm going to put it right here. Okay, just like that. We're making a new blueprint. We're going to take the liquidity chop and I'm going to put it at the 23.6. Okay, that's going to be my first one for right now. Okay, and that is around 7,700. Okay, then I'm going to go ahead and take this liquidity chop and I'm going to bring this down to the future daily edge. Okay, this is our area for liquidity chop, 87 by 7,700. To the upside, I'm going to use a target. I have a line in front of me, guys. If I have a line in front of me, I'm just going to use it. Boom. And then I have a 38.2. Boom. Just like that, we have ourselves a blueprint. Okay. And I'm going to take all these check marks off and I'm going to use the 50 and 618 just like that. Okay. Just like that. And so you know where I anchored today, I'm going to put a circle right there. And I'm going to put a circle right there. Okay. Those are my anchor points for my Fibonacci's. Okay. Go like that. And now just because we're sitting here, right? Now we understand what we have, right? We can do a line here at the low. We could do a, we're going to keep the, I'd say we just keep the green zone down there. Okay. We're going to take this off because we want to clean it up. We want to make it pretty, right? If for some reason we get up and over the golden profit area, this entire area here looks like it's going to be some sort of resistance in there. Okay. So that's what we got right there. But since we're here, what we're going to do is we're going to drop this into smaller time frames to see if there's anything that we can pick out of the crowd that might be a problem for us. Okay. And what I mean by problem is maybe I'm not seeing an inside and down or an inside and up that's on a smaller time frame. Okay. All right. I'm going to move this into a 30-minute. I really don't know what's going on with Thinkorswim. It's been pretty crappy for a while now for me. All right, so it is an inside candle. This is something that's important to us, right? Remember, we're always anticipating. Anticipation's actually a good thing. When you understand structure, you can be ahead of the curve. So what I mean is once this 30-minute closes, let's say it closed right now, you could draw a line over this and it's a if this then that. If price breaks above here, we could be looking for an inside and up. And where is the area where it could find resistance? Right around here. Okay, right around there. All right. Now on a 30-minute, this is the confirmation indicator right here, right? Right there. Boom. It's come down. Your entry was right here. Your target was right here. It hit target. Boom. You make 19 points and then it bounces to the upside. Not bad. Okay. One thing I like about this is if it takes out the stop, it creates a new signal. I love that. That was a newer feature that we put on there. Okay. But right there, guys, so that's our anchor points. This is what we're looking at. I really don't see anything different to the upside on a 30-minute that I need to address. I mean, you could come up here and go, hey, this is an inside and down. It's right around the trendy edge. So, if we were to move up here, this is resistance, but I don't need to do that. I'm just going to keep it clean right there. Now, let's do it one more time just for fun. We're going to go to a 15-minute. All right. And this is where we find pivots that you can actually trade. Sometimes pivots are just really, really fun to trade as well. Okay. All right. So check this out. This is a 15-minute, and we're getting closer to potentially finding a pivot in here. See how I have these levels to the upside? These regular white lines right here. Well, sometimes you'll find that on higher time frames, we find there were reasons why we put these here, but on smaller time frames, it might actually make perfect sense to adjust just a little bit. I'm going to take it one more. That's right, even one more, folks. 10 points. All right, there it is. See that guy right there? I found you right there. Boom, inside and down. Now, guys, listen. It's not just, hey, just because they're inside and down, I got to go short. Just because there's an inside and up, I got to go long. We have to like sort of look at these and go, well, is this what we would consider a strong inside and down? I mean, there's continuation out of this. This candle right here is not that big. And this is an up candle. Sometimes if you pay attention to these pivots, sometimes you have like over here, I'm going to draw this for you. Sometimes you have a strong candle down, right? And then you don't even have a up candle. You just have like a red dot like this, a really weak candle, and then you have a big move out. So this type of inside and down, I would say that this is stronger than this type of inside and down. All right. So the next thing is notice the rewards here on a 10-minute. See how things change? On a 10-minute, we had a long entry here going long at 76.92. Now, talking about rewards, Mel and I were talking about this on the phone yesterday. There is discretion in every indicator, guys. We are not creating an indicator that trades like somebody. We're creating an indicator that is identifying confirmation process. You have to figure out, is the risk worth it? And when I look at the reward, you use this. Check this out. I mean, I can't make this stuff up. Check out my rewards. Check out my reward. They are in line with all the work that I just put together for you. Okay. So some discretion would be, for example, notice how I'm a hair underneath this reward, right? I'm a hair underneath here. So would I sit here and just place my take profit right at the blue line? No, I never do that anyways. I would actually look to take my profits right before I hit lines because I'm sort of superstitious. I'm like, I'm not sticking my stuff right at the line because everyone's gonna beat me to it, and then I'm gonna lose my take profit. But also, let's talk about this. If you see me take a trade, like yesterday we took TSLL, we actually used a higher time frame confirmation signal. Okay. If we're getting close, do we just keep our stop way down here? Do you know what I'm saying? Do we just keep our stop down here? Like, the risk here is 85 by 93, right? So it's about like 8 points. If I'm already up 10 points here, right? Wouldn't I take my stop and probably start inching it up so that I make money in my trade? Well, that's up to you. But this is a good practice. We're coming up towards my liquidity chop. You'll notice that we're pulling away from it. So discretion, even though I have a reward here, I would be like, hey man, I'm going to bring this stop up so I can make some money just in case we break down hard from there. Okay. So I want to make sure everybody understands when we have indicators, all indicators, including trendy edges, PMZs, we are, if you haven't noticed, using discretion and then taking the trade. Okay. This is not a indicator that's trading for you. This is not a bot. Don't get it confused with AI. Okay. Big difference. ES futures, now, again, hitting up towards this area, we identified a pivot. We identified a 50 and 618 area. The next question I have to ask myself is the 50, 618, like, does it mean anything right here? Not really, folks. I mean, this is called continuation candles. Continuation candles are like, um, continuation candles, typically the way I was taught, continuation candles mean that a lot of times retail is getting bent out of shape about something and they just keep selling. Maybe it's a news catalyst, maybe it's something somebody said on TV. That's how it's looked at. This is the way, I was taught years and years ago. Institutions have a look like this. Okay. Everybody understand? Institutions a lot of times look like this. Retail a lot of times looks like this. You guys following? These are called continuation candles, right? The news, hey man, what did he say? Oh my God, he said this. I'm selling too. Hey Jim, what did he say? He said this. I'm selling too. Oh, what did right, right? It's just like puking slowly. This is shocking. Somebody said, F this, dropping $1 billion right here. I'm done. I'm out. Okay. Different, different, baby. All right. We are moving up towards, let's do it one more time. This range. If we trade outside this range, cool. Not a big deal. Okay. We are moving up towards, and we could label this, right? Or we can just make it right here. You could label this white line 38.2 bear channel. Okay. Just like that. You can make it real thick. So we know. Be careful. Be careful. All right. Boom. Take those off. Bear channel. Edit properties. Show on the right. There we go. That's what today's blueprint looks like. Okay. Now, if I wanted to, I could try and find more levels if we break down below the lows today. Okay. If we break down below the lows today. Okay. Is there anything else in this area? Not really, man. That's why I'm just keeping this green zone. Stay short if we break down below the lows and see if we can get to the 4-hour area right here. Okay. Honestly, this is where I believe that we need to go to. How we get there, I have no idea. Timing is the variable. We may never go there. Remember when I found the 2-day demand zone and we never went back? And I was sure that we were coming back one day, right? I really was. Okay. It's still, I think it's still down there somewhere. I think this is it. I'd have to go back and look, but I have it annotated somewhere. Okay. Also, let's talk about the major levels, guys. As we came up, we got really close to the top major level, and now we're at the bottom major level. I'd expect a little bit of ping pong action in here. Okay. Let's come over here and let's make sure we put this on a smaller time frame. Let's go right there. And we're going to copy this one and we're going to stick it in the note section. I may have to close this down, man. This is crazy. I'll probably be watching this screen on the 30-minute, guys. Pretty sure that's what I'm going to do. Okay. I'll have this in the upper right-hand corner, looking at it on a 30-minute. Yeah, let's get over here to the note section. What is today? Friday Eve. Let's paste it right there. Boom. All right, let's go over this one more time. Okay, for this morning on ES futures, liquidity chop is 7,700 by 7,687. And targets to the upside, if we were to break above 7,700, 7,705, and 7,712. A sell level is the 7,712. Look for confirmation. However, if you want to just trade that level, I would put a 5-point stop. Okay. The next zone, the bearish golden profit zone, is an area to look to short 7,723 by 7,700, or sorry, 7,733. Look for confirmation, or stop would be 10 points. If we break below 7,687, I'm looking for prices to move back to 7,600. I'm going to come up a little bit. 7,658. This is a buy zone, and it's 7,658 by 7,629. This is an area I would scale into. Okay, so I'm not going to just put an entry and hope that we push up from here. Most likely we come in a little bit deeper, and then I would add into. Matter of fact, this is where I would put my third contract on for the MES. Okay, so that's what I have there. Let's highlight that we have some weekly catalysts. So today is Thursday, so we'd highlight Thursday. My overall sentiment is relief bounce until proven otherwise. Okay. And I want to buy the dip, but only at, I mean, honestly, I'd rather just buy the dip at this 4-hour zone that I just went over, the 7,658. But I don't have a problem going long during the intraday for scalp trading. Okay. And that pretty much sums up today. Far as the theme for today is caution. All right, cool. So I got those in there. Let's go ahead and done with that. Let's see what else we got going on. All right, let's minimize this. And let's put this back up in this area right there. And let's get over here. Let me look at the watch list for a second. Again, Bitcoin's up. Oil futures step back from that level. Let's see, what else do we got? Apple's flat. Amazon might be something I want to look at. So I'm going to pull this over here. I've just been noticing it's been pretty strong. So let's look at it. Let's see, this is a 2 hour. We're below the trendy edge. Let's go to a 4 hour. Man, I wish I said, that I had a lot of stuff open, but I really don't. I don't know why my Thinkorswim keeps bogging down every time I open it. Um, you know, Amazon actually, see how we came into this area on this inside and up? Notice how we already bounced from there. Okay. I wouldn't want to touch Amazon. Actually, I don't want to touch Amazon unless it comes back down um, towards this double. Like, we just hit the ME practically. Um, I would much rather maybe get involved in here. So I'm going to wait. It's either that or I just trade the PMZ. We'll see when the market opens, but um, at or below. Okay, right there. And let's see what else we got. This is the hardest thing about these screens is that they don't stay in the area they went to. I don't reboot every morning. I really don't. Mm-mm. Man, Hood looked really good. Let's look at Hood real quick. Is it come to its area where we short it, or does it have room? Hmm. Well, it is above the 23 point, or sorry, the 38.2. It hit the mid monthly edge. Okay, I like this one. We have an area under here of support. So my risk, yeah, I would like to get in if it could come back into this area. It's either that or I take it above the PMZ. I like that. Do you guys see what I'm talking about? So every time I need to minimize this, I have to pull this down. You guys said this is a feature of Thinkorswim that it does this. Intel's down another dollar. Mel had brought that up yesterday. We might want to take a look at Intel as well today. MU was up last night. It's down 10 this morning. Nvidia's up 50 cents. Maybe watch Nvidia. I mean, these guys are getting ready to report soon. Target's down almost $4 or $5. I knew not to chase that yesterday. And then Tesla is down $4 or $5 this morning. Let's look. I mean, let's also keep our eye on Tesla. On the ES futures, I'm gonna put this in the upper right-hand corner. We'll talk through the futures for like the first 30 minutes, but I want to put a little bit more focus on. I want to put a little bit more focus on the 30-minute. Okay. So I'm going to put this on 30 minutes right here. Remember, we identified an inside candle. All right. And let's watch it. Okay. See it right there? Got that inside candle right there. And then let me go ahead and share the futures charts with you guys. And there we go. There is the futures. So again, I'm not biased, but I want to buy at that lower green zone. Okay. And so we may have the opportunity. We have the ES futures. I'm going to bring everybody over to the futures. We use the PMZ to kind of help us sometimes, right? And sometimes that can turn into a huge swing trade. Feels like lately, um, it's just been choppy. You know, we see the bigger move overnight, and then we open up, and here we're stuck at a level, and that level sometimes is the PMZ. So we want to be careful around that area, especially with options. If you're just trading futures, it makes it a lot easier because you either get stopped out real quick or you don't. You know, instead of it gets frustrating when you're in and out of futures and it doesn't keep working. So, anyways, so ES, NASDAQ, that looks good. I got these all on 5 minutes, except for the middle is a 1 minute. And then we will trade the PMZ, and I will walk you through that once we get started, okay? And as a reminder, PMZ is easy. It's a rectangle. It's just a box. The distance between the top and the bottom is the risk that you're taking. A lot of times when it's less than 5, I'm aggressive. That just means as soon as price breaks above, I'm long. Stops go in underneath that PMZ. Soon as price drops below, I'm short. Price goes above the PMZ. That's easy to understand, right, guys? And then from a conservative standpoint, no matter what, you always wait for the first 5 minute candle to close. On the aggressive, I don't care. I could take it right now if I wanted to. You know what I mean? But on conservative, you're going to wait for the first 5 minute candle to close. Let's say that first 5 minute is underneath the PMZ today. You're going to wait for it to close. Let's say that it closes very close to the PMZ this morning. Well, this PMZ, when it's above price, is going to be a sell zone. So if you want to short it, you can immediately short it here. and place your stop above the PMZ. If it goes against you, it's going to do something like this. It's going to stop you out and perhaps maybe it comes back down. All right. And then you're going to wait for that candle to close, or you're going to get aggressive right here, up to you. But wait for that candle to close. Then you're going to wait for prices to come back up. And if they come back up towards here, that's where you take your execution. You're looking for a rejection. On a 5 minute, say a 5 minute closes up here, you're going to wait for prices to come back down towards the PMZ. Once price gets close or touches that PMZ, you're going to look to go long. Stops are going to go underneath here. The point of intersection, if you will, right at the PMZs, like this, you have a choice to be aggressive or conservative. Aggressive means, hey, we're close enough. I'm going long here because when price is above, I'm looking for a bounce. Okay. Aggressive, price is below, I'm looking for a short. You just go short. Okay. Conservative, once price reaches and comes back down, let's say up here towards the top, you go right. Okay. All right. So, I mean, pretty straightforward stuff. Pretty straightforward. It makes it easy. It's a rinse and repeat process, especially for like scalp trading. Okay. I don't, man, I'd really like to keep my eyes on some things that might move this morning. Again, what was the name that we were trading yesterday that was doing good? It was coin, right? Let me just see. It's at 170. So here's a good one. Is coin at an area where we could find resistance? You know, so here's coin, on a 30 minute, it's inside and up. ACDC says we can get to 176. Pre-market, it got to 175. So could also try this. It had a short setup on the 30 minute and worked down into the target here. But as far as the 30 minute is concerned, you could try to go long here with a stop at 168. I sent a new picture out of Summit on Twitter if you guys want to see him. I just put a new picture of him here. Let me see if I can find him real quick. Let's go over here. Yeah, I would just use the PMZ. I like the option for the NASDAQ. So it overnight came into my demand zone and then popped out. I don't think, let me see over here on coin. Dude, you okay? I don't think I can do a bracket trade in the morning. GTC extension. Is it always GTC extension, guys? Does anybody know? I just want to test this out and see if I can actually get in. Where are we? Ba, 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 ba. Oh, wrong account. Or sorry, it didn't work. Not wrong account. Is it that one? Let me see if I can get in with this. Well, we got 3 minutes. I'll just buy on the open. Excuse me. All right, we got you guys on the future screen. Cool. We'll talk through this once we open up. And we're actually sitting above the PMZ. Damn, I'm missing my opportunity here. I wanted to buy. I could have just bought with regular equity, but wanted to see if it would do a bracket order this morning. Bro, are you okay? So Ashley has been taking Mark. I don't know if you've been doing this. You should meet Ashley in the mornings, man. She's taken Summit and Breeze on a walk every single morning. That's her new thing. And Summit's so damn big, dude. These guys are so pumped up to take a walk, but they just, he's so big. He looks like he's dying, and he probably went on a 30-minute walk, if that. They do not like the heat, man. Obviously. All right, let's see if we get this. So this would be a aggressive entry here, guys, on that particular trade, if you will. Let's see where it is.